Of course, there's been a raging debate in this country about whether we should take in Syrian refugees and how many. The Republicans overall have been very much against taking any refugees from Syria. Now, of course, remember, these are the people running from ISIS. We claim that ISIS is the worst of the worst modern-day Nazis. But as people are fleeing from them, we won't give them shelter if the Republicans have their way. Now, one of those Republicans is Mo Brooks. He's from Alabama. And he's going to go on a radio show and tell us that these guys are actually just basically looking for welfare. Listen.
And we need to be thinking about the final cost to our country. By way of example, the 85,000 so-called refugees that Barack Obama wants to pay to come to the United States of America, you know what the cost is going to be to American taxpayers?
How much?
Just in one calendar year, what would be your guess?
I would argue multiple billions of dollars.
Well, it would be in the neighborhood of $1 billion. The president has paid 320,000 refugees to come to America over the past 4 or 5 years, and the cost for that has been a little over $4 billion. Well, that's money we don't have, and we're paying them about $15,000 a year in free health care, free food, free shelter, free clothing, free transportation. You know, just go down the litany of wealth transfer programs that these people are entitled to. And that answers very quickly why so many of them want to come to the United States of America. We're paying them to come here.
I want to talk about that part here on the other side, but I want to
say vacation.
It's a paid vacation. The Syrian refugees are looking for a paid vacation. In the reference being that they're bums. They want to be, I guess, welfare queens, as the Republicans would call them. Let's look at actual refugees and why they're fleeing. And then we'll see if it looks like they're looking for a paid vacation. That's that little boy who washed up on shore. Those are the people apparently looking for a paid vacation, according to Mo Brooks, who has no humanity whatsoever. So this is what they're running from. This is what they're running from. Complete and devastation of their country. There's ISIS. There's the brutal dictator Assad. Al-Qaeda is in there. You've got all this enormous fighting and carnage and death. And people don't want to leave their homes. They don't want to leave their homes unless their homes look like that, right? And they're afraid that their kids are going to die. And so they're not looking for welfare, you jackass. They're not looking for a paid vacation. They're looking for a tiny bit of humanity from the rest of the world. We went in there because people like you wanted to go into Iraq and thought it was such a great idea to open that Pandora's box. Oh, Shia-Sunni fighting that might come out of it. It's nuance. George Bush said at the time, I don't do nuance. That's a direct quote from George Bush. I don't do nuance. Oh, this is all nuance. Oh, I get rid of the Ba'athist party in Iraq that ran the military. They're not getting paid anymore. Now the Shia, who are their enemies, are running the place. Oh, they might want to become an army and fight against us. Some of those guys are in ISIS now. I don't do nuance. And then after I rip the place apart, and these monsters arise out of the ashes, then I go, oh, these people that are leaving, they're looking for paid vacations. By the way, the guys that Obama, quote unquote, let into the country that he's referring to that cost us some money are people who fought with us in Iraq and Afghanistan, their families. Oftentimes, the fathers who fought with us are already dead. And that we have a tiny bit of decency to let their families into the country because they're on the run. They're on the run from, in Afghanistan, the Taliban, in Iraq, from God knows what, from ISIS, from the Shias, the Sunnis, the different warring factions. These are the people that were on our side, the people we told that we were going to liberate Iraq. Okay? Oh, but Mo Brooks doesn't want to let them in because they're just looking for a paid vacation. There are no bounds of reason on how indecent these people are. So let's go to Mo Brooks one more time so he can tell us who the real enemy is.
I think it's becoming clearer and clearer that this is not radical Islam. This is fundamentalist Islam. You look at the Quran, and I encourage people to read it on their own so that they can get a first-hand view of whether these terrorists who are killing non-Muslims are doing what the Quran instructs them to do. And I think you can make a very compelling argument that these terrorists are doing exactly what the Quran tells them to do. And I think you can also make a pretty good argument that there is a large segment of the Muslim population that is not engaged in terrorism, but who is morally in support of what these terrorists are doing. Barack Obama will try to portray them as people who are not following Islam. Well, read the Quran or find the passages in the Quran that support what these people are doing, and I think you might get a different opinion. And it's been this way for 1,300 years. Look at the history of Islam. How did it expand from a very small religion in two desert towns of Mecca and Medina to be so dominant around the globe? And I think you'll discover that violence was involved in virtually every bit of the expansion beyond Mecca and Medina. And that violence consisted of killing people who did not accept the dictates of that religion.
Oh, 13 years of history because there's a religion that's came out of violence. Now, if we look back at Christian history, oh, no, don't mention the Crusades. Don't mention the Crusades. That was in the past. But he just said 1,300 years of history. Christianity is soaked in blood. Whether it's the Crusades, it's the Spanish Inquisition, and the witch hunts, the list goes on and on. Don't mention the Christian past. Only mention Muslim past. The history of Islam, as he calls it. Okay. Now, wait a minute. He said in there, these guys are attacking non-Muslims. Oh, definitely. They're attacking some non-Muslims. They attack Christians. They attack the Yazidi, which are a sect of their own. Then there's, fighting between different ethnicities, the Kurds versus the Arabs, right? But overwhelmingly, who they kill is other Muslims. Muslims that you claim are on our side. The Republicans who say, oh, yeah, I came to liberate Iraq. I came to liberate those Muslims, the ones who were, suffering under Saddam Hussein, etc. What happened? I thought you were going to help them. Oh, it turns out, no, you hate them all. You hate them all.